Hi solo bosses, you're welcome once again to the Solo Boss Life. Super excited to shoot this particular video. If this is your first time on this channel, I'm going to tell you to do a few things. Number one, go ahead and subscribe, and number two, make sure to hit on the little bell button that's right next to the subscribe button, because what that will do is that every time I put up a new video, you will get notification of it and you can rush over and watch it. Okay, all right, so today I'm going to do a little bit of a book review and talk about books that I read in the month of August. I'm a big believer in the fact that readers are leaders. Let me say that again. Readers are leaders, and there's so many hidden treasures within books that you will never find out if you do not read. I never went to college for a business degree. My whole life has been in the sciences. I have a PhD in microbiology, for crying out loud. Everything has been in the sciences, so I absolutely had no science background, and I'm so sorry because I'm looking at my finger and I had a ring on, and it irritated my skin. I'm sorry. But candid camera moment. Yeah, but like I was saying, books make you, readers are leaders, and the fact is that there's so much knowledge within books that you will not know about if you do not read. And the way that I see books is that somebody has studied something over a long period of time, and they have distilled all their ideas into a book, into something that you can read in a week or 2 weeks or in a month or even in a few hours if you're a super fast reader. All right, so I don't take my reading and my books for granted, because you could become something you're not just by reading books. You know what I mean? Like I said, my whole background was in the sciences, but today I'm running a business, and that I can attribute to the fact that I've read so many books, so many blog posts, so many pieces of literature. But today I'm going to tell you about the books that I read in the month of August. All right. So book number one that I read was Real Artists Don't Starve. Real Artists Don't Starve, and that book is by Jeff Goins from GoinsWriter.com. And Jeff Goins is really an amazing writer. He's when you read his blog, it like flows like very artistically. He's not so matter of fact. I think I write in a more manner of fact manner, but Jeff Goins is very artsy, and yet he still makes his point. And I love that about his style of writing. And in this particular book, Real Artists Don't Starve, he just talks about basically creating your own art. Whether you're an author, you are, somebody that paints, and so you're a real artist, or you are, a singer, or you're a blogger, whatever it is you're trying to do in business and really in life, this book is a really super good read. I think one of the things I really took away from the book is the fact that you need to stay at your craft, you need to stay at your art, and you even sometimes will need to be an apprentice at your art, which is what I feel like a lot of people miss out on. That whole stage of apprenticeship, that whole stage of learning and imbibing information and taking it in and refining your art, I feel like a lot of that is lost. Even though these days you don't have apprentices in the way that you had them in the olden days, I feel like a lot of that apprenticeship is lost, and a lot of people want to be able to gain success really quickly. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people who to be super successful have been apprentices, have studied under somebody's feet, have allowed themselves to be mentored, and they've grown in that process. And I think that that's something I really took away from the book that was awesome. There was also a story in the book about F. Scott Fitzgerald. For those of you that don't know who that is, he wrote The Great Gatsby. And when, there's a story in the book where he talks about the fact that when The Great Gatsby came out, it wasn't a hit. It wasn't a sensation in the beginning. And because of that, F. Scott Fitzgerald actually fell into a depression. And, for the rest of his life, he really thought he was a failure and died thinking he was a failure. It was years after his death that his book took off, and then it became required reading in schools. And now The Great Gatsby has had, people like Leonardo DiCaprio act in that movie, you know what I mean? And so, I think what I took from that was the fact that sometimes you create something and in the moment it's not a hit, But if you're patient and continue within your craft and don't allow yourself to get bogged down by the fact that, in the short term you have this seeming, unsuccessful moment, it's very, very possible for you to win. It's very, very possible along the line for that particular thing to be picked up and become super, super popular. So don't give up on things that you think have not gone viral. Okay, book number two. Book number two was The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. That is also an incredible read. I actually consumed that book via audiobooks. Okay, I subscribe to a service known as Scribe. I'll also leave the link below this video. And with Scribe, you get access both to ebooks and audiobooks. And so I listened to The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg via audiobook on Scribe. And oh my word, that book also is incredible in the research, the different research studies that have been done into the power of habits in individuals, the power of habit in companies, and even the power of habit in whole countries or whole communities, and how that sets the stage for however how successful the person or the company or even the community is going to be. And so I think that on a personal level for me, what it really taught me was the fact that, habits are learned. Habits are not things that are inborn. They're not things that you, the moment that your mother pushed you out, you had. They're things that you can learn. They're things that over time you can hone. And so whatever skill it is, of course, we have innate abilities and innate talents that everybody has different ones and things that come to them much, much easily. But you still will need to practice, and you will still need to build a habit that allows that particular innate talent to become super excellent. There's actually a story in the book about Michael Phelps, who is an Olympic, medalist, won so many Olympic medals, broken so many records. And there's a really incredible story in the book about why he's so successful. And we can attribute it to so many things, but one of the things that he said that was incredibly smart was the fact that Michael Phelps had a routine of success, pretty much. A routine that set him up for that. And so, if you would like to learn about that, I, definitely will encourage that you delve into the book. Some of the stuff in there is so deep that reading it once will not do it justice, and I feel like I need to go back to revisit some of the concepts in the book, but really, really incredible book. And then book number three that I read, I'm still reading it actually, is a book called Talk Like Ted. And I actually got into that book because an opportunity came up for me within my local city of San Diego to speak. And when that came up, I was like, oh man, I need to learn what makes a great speaker. So I had heard really good things about the book Talk Like Ted. And for those of you that don't know, TED Talks are a conference it used to be a conference that was held, I think, every year or every 2 years. Now it's like a global phenomenon, and people even have like small individual TEDx events in different cities across the entire world. Really, and usually the people that come and talk on TED really give very inspirational and, punchy talks. I don't know if punchy is a word, but they give talks that kind of get you in the gut, and pack it with punch. And yet the talks are mostly I find that they're mostly between 18 and maybe 30 minutes, and yet they're able to relay their message across. And I think that that's incredible for them to be able to communicate. That's the sign of a great communicator. And if you want to be a great communicator, you will have to read this book, because it will really show you the different things. I think there are 9 ideas in there that every great speaker embodies. And I think that is an incredible read, regardless of which field, whether you're in the sciences, you're in the arts, you're in, politics, whatever you're into. Really, that book is a standout book when it comes to learning how to really speak with passion, speak with punch, and communicate your ideas successfully. Alright guys, so those are the 3 books I read this month of August. I have a question for you. What books are you reading this month? Or what books do you plan to read in September? Or what books are you reading right now? Maybe it's not September, maybe you're watching this video way a long time from now. What books are you reading? Leave it in the comment section below and I will be happy to respond to you. Alright, thanks for watching and see you next time.